Hey guys, D-Bull here. Today we're going to be checking out patch notes. Update coming out next Monday, December 21st. The usual time, whenever that is for you. We're going to be going over everything that we know about said update, which should be pretty much everything, because they give us the complete patch notes to take a look at here for you guys. Before we dive into that, though, I do want to point out we are getting pretty close to 15,000 subscribers on this channel. Never in a million years thought we'd come anywhere near that size. So I do want to say thank you very much, everyone, for supporting the channel. It's been a wild ride, and if we do hit 15K, we're probably going to be doing some giveaways, some sort of celebrations. So if you want to be around for that, stay tuned. Slap the subscribe button around like those red ships that you play against. Slap around your blue team destroyers in the first 2 minutes of the match when they're plowing right into them with their suicide torp strategies. Anyway, we'll see when that happens, if it ever does. Jumping into the patch notes. What's going on here? The main event, the Big Mammy campaign. Who's the Big Mammy, you ask? It's a Tier 7 USS Massachusetts. Battleship, American, 16-inch main guns, far-reaching and accurate secondary guns. Oh, yeah. And great protection against both shells and torpedoes. It says, well, this campaign may be named after this particular steel beast. Oh, it's a beast. Okay. There's one more ship among the 120 milestones. Japanese Tier 4 cruiser Yahagi. And that's right, 120 milestones. This is another 6-week update cycle. My belief, the update that we're concluding at the moment, and then this next one, both 6 weeks long. Normally they're 5 weeks long. I think they're baking in an extra week for both of them to give them a little bit more time to work on those carriers. My prediction has been that they're going to put out the test event for the carriers at the conclusion of this one. Now, that's pure speculation. We have no idea. No indication to suggest that aside from circumstantial evidence and reading the tea leaves. So that's what I'm guessing. But anyway, getting back to it, we got Big Mammy, or the Massachusetts is what I'm probably going to call it. And then we got Yahagi. It says Yahagi, quick, maneuverable, and mostly slings HE shells. So that sounds pretty good to me. We'll check that out. 2,500 doubloons to get into the campaign. Of course, if you want to boost, it's going to cost you 32,250. Holy smokes. That's just due to the extra 20 stages. So if you're dying to get your hands on Massachusetts, well, it's going to cost you, or just stay the course and do your missions, and you'll get it for 2,500. That's what I'm going to be doing. It says an important thing to note is that after completing the campaign, i.e. reaching the final milestone, either with or without the Admiralty backing, you'll unlock the Icebreaker Havoc missions. And as the name suggests, these will reward you with Icebreaker coins. What are Icebreaker coins, you're probably wondering? Well, let's take a look here. It's kind of the event currency. We see those a lot of times. What it gives you is access to, the usual Admiralty goods. You get insignias, promotion orders, commendations, things of that nature. Those are usually what I tend to target. Legendary ship rentals this time. Yes, you've read that correctly. We'll be talking about which ships and what that means exactly here in a moment. And potentially a Tier 7 Soviet battleship Lenin. Possesses a triple gun layout, not unlike that of the Nelson. So you can earn Icebreaker coins by opening Super Santa containers 21. The year 21, I guess that's assuming we make it out of 2020 alive. Reaching ranks 11, 5, and 1 for the new rank battle season. That'll give you up to 6,000 of these coins. Completing the Icebreaker Havoc missions once you're done with the campaign. Up to 9,000 if you buy at the campaign on day 1, or 3,000 if you finish the campaign at your own pace. So there's an added incentive to buy out the campaign. I'm not suggesting necessarily doing that, but it's up to everyone at their own discretion, of course. And then playing legendary ships or against them. Up to 1,600 of these coins a week for a total of 9,600. So with that in mind, it says we wanted to share an important disclaimer about the Lenin. She costs 25,000 coins, which means that it isn't possible to obtain her for free. Now, I'm reading the breakdown. You get 9,600 per week for playing these legendary ships. 9,000 if you buy out the campaign on day 1. So we're at 18.5 plus 6 6,000 for the rank season. We're up to 24, so we're just shy of it, and then we're gonna get some Super Santa containers, presumably for free during the campaign. So basically, if you buy out the campaign right away, you would get the 2 ships, Massachusetts, whatever that Japanese cruiser was we just said 2 seconds ago, and the 3rd ship, Lenin. So that's on the table there. If you want to do it that way, cool. If not, it also says the Lenin will likely probably show back up in the game at some point. So if you don't get it for free, you don't have to sweat it. There's always more ships coming down the line. I wouldn't spend more than you're comfortable spending just to get one particular ship. My advice, but everyone's got their own cash and their own priorities for it. North Cape Bureau Project. What's this? We're bringing in another non-legendary project, kind of like the California. This says it's actually a time locked, or it's going to end at the end of this particular update cycle. So if you want to pursue this project, which we'll go into in a second here, you're actually going to have to pause one of you if you got premium time and you got 2 projects going. You're have to going to put one on hold, or if you only got 1 project going because you don't have premium time, you're going to put that on hold to pursue this one if you want it. Main attractions: Arctic skins for the Edinburgh, Scharnhorst, and Duke of York, the latter of which is coming to the premium shop. So to start the project, blah, 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 blah. It's time limited and will cease to be available once the update concludes on February the 1st. So, it's interesting. Permanent skins for some pretty good ships there. At least the Edinburgh and the Scharnhorst, and Duke of York. We'll see what that one's all about. Presumably at some point. Legendary ships for rent. What? Oh, you heard it right. It says, during the update, you'll be able to take the reins of 3 legendary tier ships that aren't even available in the Bureau yet. Whoa! It says for 1,500 icebreaker coins, you'll get to sling HE shells from one of the larger light cruisers. USS Worcester, Hadley Noah. Enjoy the well-rounded gunboat, USS Gearing. No accent necessary for that one. Or succumb to battleship pyromania with HMS Conqueror. Alright, so at least we're getting a preview of what ships are coming. But if you want to get these in your port temporarily, you can pony up the icebreaker coins. And then it says there's a few special rules. Number 1, they'll be removed from your accounts on February 1st. Can't create permanent camos for them, and any XP earned by playing them will be transferred to the respective nations' Tier 1 cruisers. So if you need to boost the XP you got on your, I couldn't even name a Tier 1 ship, this is the way to do it. Anyway, base service costs for these, same as all the other ones, blah, blah, blah. So if you pursue this option, which might be quite interesting, you'll get to test these ships out. Might give you a little bit of an idea of which one you want to pursue. So I think that's a good idea. Depending on what you want to do with the icebreaker coins, I'll probably go for promotion orders, insignias, commendations, and then anything left over, we'll go ahead and put them into these icebreaker coins. Santa containers. Oh, here we go. Japanese destroyer Sashio, which I believe was in them last year. I ended up getting that ship, I think, out of the crates. And the Japanese battleship Kii. K-I-I, I believe, unless one of those is a J. I think they're both I's. Key we're going to go with. Special flair for this containers. Oh, wow. Check this out. The special flair for this year's containers is that they might just drop a super prize. Do keep in mind that this is a fairly minuscule chance of this happening, so we're not even assigning it a numeric value on our container pages. But it's possible that if you could receive a year of premium or 100,000 doubloons. If it happens, it's not a glitch. You've lucked out with the super prize. If you get 100,000 doubloons, man, you're buying everything. You're buying rounds on you down at the naval pub, as they say. Containers can be obtained by participating in various activities, including the campaign and ranked battles. And make sure to stay on top of or follow our social media to stay on top of the details. So anyway, that sounds fairly interesting there. Ranked Battle Season 9. This is going to be a Tier 5 ranked season. And they're switching it up a little bit. New ranked season will be the most different out of all of them, as we're pitting 5-player teams against each other. Now, what's even more hardcore? Ooh, yeah, hardcore. First player on the losing team won't keep a star. So, you lose, you lose. We're deliberately moving the ranked play to the last 4 weeks of the update. Divisions, up to 2 players are allowed. Destroyers, limited to 1 per team. There's other rules that are enumerated. I'm going to put these patch notes, the link to them, by the way, in the description. This video is going to go live when I'm in the middle of my sleep for the night, so I'm probably going to forget when I wake up to put them on there, but someone in the comments around 9 o'clock Central Time, let me know that I didn't do it, and then I'll go ahead and put them on there if you want to check them out in depth. But what does that mean exactly? The more we were talking about this in my Discord. The links to that is in the description if you want to join, of course. But I was basically laying it out. Like, if you got a 1v1 ranked match, it's 100% on you as the player, whether you win or lose. If you got 100 versus 100 team ranked match, then you account for basically 1% of your team's effectiveness. So by lowering the amount of players, assuming you're a good player, you're going to have a better chance of winning. Assuming you're a bad player, you're going to have a better chance of losing, just because you're going to have more of an impact on the outcome of the game than you would in a 7 versus 7 ranked match. So if you get into a division with 2 solid players, I think he can potentially steamroll this. So we'll see if Chile wants to team up again. Hopefully he will, as we were planning on doing it last time, but didn't work out for various reasons. So anyways, that should be fairly interesting. Rewards include secret and super Santa crates, various commander items, currencies, including the icebreaker coins, Santa 21 camos, okay, paint, seasonal patches, blah, blah, blah. Fire metagame, oh. We'll see how this goes. I might be in the minority rolling my eyes at this, but maybe it'll work out. Suffering from fires is something that many battleship captains shared in their feedback with us. All battleship commanders receive a new legendary skill, Fight Fire with Fire. Automatically stops the effects of all damage that's caused over time, including flooding. So fire damage, flood damage on your battleship. Whenever there's 3 concurrent fires and damage con is either on cooldown or depleted. Okay, well, if you're getting burned down that hard, you're probably not going to stay alive that long anyways, but okay, if you want to put that on. We'll see where that falls on the tech tree. Maybe it'll be worth taking, maybe not. Emergency specialist skill has been changed. Duration penalty has been increased from 30 to 70. Well, cooldown, I don't even know what that is. I don't know the skills by the names. Firefighter skills also receive some improvements. Duration reduction for damage con down, or it's 40%, down from 30%. Cool down reduction now 4 to 15% instead of 3 to 10. So those are anti-fire changes directly on the battleship builds. And then equilibrium of power. That's the light cruiser perk that we've seen on the Americans, the Russians. And using the skill, the chance the fire will be reduced by 50%. So that's probably the biggest change right there. We'll see how those other skills play out. But in my mind, the equilibrium of power, reducing the fire chance, maybe that's a fair balance change. We could probably get behind that. Armor viewer, I think this is the main one for me. This one says it's self-explanatory. Getting into the nitty-gritty of your ships and find out their weak spots to make sure you never expose them in battle. Helpful tool tips for different thicknesses and ways to look at it. Basically, you're going to be able to look at your ship in the port, look at the armor values, and we'll go into this a lot on this channel. We're going to be covering armor viewer, the implications in depth, because once you get this knowledge, it's going to change how you play the game, both offensively. Can my guns overmatch the armor that we're seeing out there? That's going to affect your aim point on certain ships, or perhaps even target selection to a certain extent. And then the armor values on your own ship. How do I actually defend this thing? So going to have massive implications. That's something we've been asking about since pretty close to day one. Great to see it actually coming into the game. So thank you to Wargaming for that. We've seen a sneak peek of it so far. Looks awesome. I think that one will allow players that want to do deep dives on the game become really, masters of the game. That's a key component that we've been relying on. Information that sometimes is accurate from PC, sometimes not. So this is a game changer in my mind. Top plus of this update. Balance changes. They're going to fine tune the Italian cruisers. Reducing the smoke cooldown is the first step they're going with. 180 seconds down from 240. So that's a 25% reduction, I believe. And that's pretty good. Populate both Tier 7 and Legendary tier games. We slightly decrease the service cost for Tier 7 ships. Holy God. And the Cheshire had a slightly higher service cost than normal. I guess they fixed that. And then there's a couple other miscellaneous bug fixes. So anyway, that's a look at the update, guys. I'm pretty excited mainly for the armor view. The campaign looks good. I think the rank season should be fun. I think it should be a pretty good update overall. We'll see how the changes to the fire play out. We'll see if that's any good or not. But anyway, you guys let me know in the comments. What are you guys excited about? What are you bummed about? How are you feeling about this? Let me know. If you do like the video, I appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up button. That does help promote the video for others and potentially, introduce them to the channel, which would help me out quite a bit. So I'd appreciate that. Questions, comments, we said that. Subscribe if you're new. Talked about that earlier, but that'd be a great idea. And we'll see y'all later. Peace.